What's going on, everybody? Welcome to maybe the most special edition of the Viall Files yet. My name's Nick, and I'm joined by really only the one and only, and she's the only one on this episode, my girlfriend, Natalie.
Hi.
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 Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. We have to do an intro now and tell everyone all the things, so...
That you love about me?
Yes.
Okay. We'll be here for a while.
We're here at my parents' house. It's 4th of July weekend. We wanted to make sure we give you the recap. So we have this makeshift studio. I think we're in Bella's room. Yeah, we're upstairs. I think this is Bella's room. It shifts all the time. We're sleeping in Olivia's room, and then my old room is right next door. But just a bunch of magic happened for me, really. Let's see. Couple housekeeping notes. There is the Podcast Awards, and it's the People's Choice Podcast Awards. We might even have played an intro on the top of the show. The Viall Files is up for Best Podcast, or you can submit. I'm sorry, we're not even up yet. It's up to the people to say you can vote for us to be one of the nominations for Best Podcast of Society and Culture. Also, you can vote for me as one of the best male hosts. So, if you want, there will be a link on the page notes of the episode. I'll put it on my Instagram. If you guys want to vote for the Viall Files, we would appreciate it. I would appreciate it. Natalie would you appreciate it?
Yeah,
duh. So that would be great. So thanks for doing that. Also, before we get into the episode, we have an excellent episode for you tomorrow. The funny, lovable guys from The Lord of the Rings, Dominic Monaghan and Billy Boyd, are with us talking friendship, all sorts of things. Interesting guys, great perspective on life. Again, you know them from the Hobbits of the Lord of the Rings. They're also in a ton of other movies, and we have some great conversations. So be sure to check that out. Also, if you haven't listened to our Ask Nick episode with relationship and dating advice and people calling in, that drops every Monday, so be sure to check that out. You won't want to miss that. I think I've covered it all. So without further ado, let's hear Natalie's hot takes on, is it episode 5? 4?
4. Yeah.
No.
4.
Is it 4?
Yeah.
No, I think it's 5 because I was in 3, and that was 2 weeks ago. Episode 5 of Katie's Bachelorette season. Welcome, Natalie.
Thank you. I'm excited.
This is Natalie's first podcast ever.
Yeah, it is.
How do you feel about it?
I think this is my first time holding a mic also, to be honest.
Ever? The trick is you want to almost be eating the mic.
Is this close enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
So don't be afraid to talk loud. Welcome to Wisconsin, by the way.
Thank you.
It's your first time in Wisconsin. Yeah. How do you like Wisconsin? How do you like my family? You've met my parents before. Mm-hmm. How's it going?
It's going great. Wisconsin reminds me a lot of Georgia. Just kind of like a cute little downtown, open roads, lots of billboard signs of lawyers and things.
Yeah. Well, not as much as Florida.
Not as much as Georgia either. Georgia has a lot, but
of lawyer billboards.
Yeah, you mentioned that when you came to Savannah. I think that was like the first thing
you noticed.
It
was like, why is boy, if I get in an accident, I am good to go. Yeah. Is what I thought. How do you like my mom's decorating in the house?
I love it. I love your parents. I love your mom. Your mom and I text all the time. She sends me photos of her garden, and we text back and forth about it. Probably because you're so bad at texting that she just feels like it's an easier way to reach you.
Probably. But thank you for picking up
You're welcome.
My slack.
You're welcome.
This episode, it wasn't as dramatic as maybe some of the other ones. What are your thoughts on this season so far? I guess, you know what, we probably should, before we even get into that, people want to know, have you been a Bachelor fan? When did you start watching?
No, I have never been a Bachelor fan. I've never watched any episodes before. I watched Peter's season. And I think that was kind of the first season. I don't even think I watched all the episodes, but that was the first one that I actually did tune into. I just thought Nick was like a hot Instagram guy with a bunch of followers. I had no idea he was any part of the Bachelor world. But I soon found out when we were in New York and everyone was stopping him.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is going on? Why are people stopping you and recognizing you? And he said, I have a very, very good podcast.
I didn't say I have a very good podcast. I said I have a podcast.
But I was like, this must be the most famous podcast in the world.
To be clear, I just said I had a podcast. I didn't know what to say. I was like, well, I honestly also didn't 100% believe you at that point. Because sometimes people lie about not knowing, and so I wasn't entirely sure if I was going through this whole motion of like, huh, people know, and you knew. Yeah. And I was like, I have a podcast, and you laughed. You laughed. Like, well, it must be a really good podcast.
Yeah, it did.
So you didn't.
Anyway, so no, I've never been a fan of the show. But obviously, now that we are together, it's fun to sit and watch the episodes.
I make you watch.
Yeah.
So now that I make you watch, do you enjoy watching it?
I do enjoy watching it. I do find it a little bit ridiculous sometimes.
It's a ridiculous show.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So I do. Okay. I do. I didn't want to hurt your feelings.
No, it's totally fine.
I do find myself being like, what are we watching? What is this? What is happening? But it's always
you
entertaining.
have some great takes I've noticed though.
Thank you.
When we watch.
Thank you.
All right. Well, then what do you, now that we have a little background on your Bachelor expertise, what do you think of this season so far, and how are you enjoying Katie as the Bachelorette? And then give me one just general thing you liked about the season so far, and one thing that kind of chapped your ass so far.
I like Katie. I think she's very honest, and I truly believe that she is there to find love, no doubt.
So you can confirm from your point of view, Katie is in fact there for the right reasons.
Katie is in fact there for nobody can tell her she's not. Aaron cannot tell her that she is not there for the right reason.
Yeah, Aaron's there to tell everyone.
Yeah. Aaron can sniff it out for sure.
Aaron's the right reasons police this season.
Yes. So she definitely is. I like the guys. I think she's got a good group of guys.
Who do you think the hottest one is?
He left. So.
Oh, Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Justice for Thomas. But I love Andrew. I think Andrew should win. I think they are great together. He's perfect.
He's perfect.
I think he's perfect, yeah.
I don't think you've ever called me perfect.
Are perfect. more perfect.
Okay. And then what is one thing what was the most compelling thing you liked or sweetest moment, and then one thing that bothered you?
Oh my God, Michael. Are you kidding?
Michael.
Anytime Michael speaks, my heart crumbles.
Yeah, Michael
in a good way.
Got us teared up again. I think Michael's made us get teared up at least 3 times.
I think every time he speaks, we tear up a little bit.
Yeah.
It could be about grocery shopping, and I think he would just make it beautiful.
The second time I got teared up in front of Natalie was because of Michael.
What was the first time?
In Hawaii.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So thank you, Michael, for allowing me to show my girlfriend that I have a heart.
Feelings. Yeah.
So I appreciate you, Michael. And then one thing that's bugged you, one thing that you didn't agree with or didn't like, or...
I think Hunter needs to blow his nose or something. He's got a lot of mucus issues. Yeah, I can't take the sounds.
This. Well, I was going to open up the episode of clearing my sinuses. I think is a guy who... Listen, when I was in college, I was a sick kid growing up. I don't know if you know this about me.
You had asthma.
I had asthma. Yeah. I had a lot of sinus infections. I had oversized adenoids, and I had a very bad deviated septum. That's not a nose job.
Right.
But and I ran track, but so I kind of sound like, I never did that. I don't know. It's, and I can't tell.
So bad.
Hunter clearly did that. Obviously, we've noticed it all season. Mm-hmm. But this episode, I'm wondering if they clearly have Hunter doing it all the time. Like the audio people, when they're listening,
they like turn it up a little bit to like make sure.
Well,
they
no,
get that.
I mean it must suck for the audio people because you have your camera people and then you have your audio people. So like we're all wearing mics and their audio people are like have headsets on and they're just hearing everything, and they must be able to hear Hunter constantly clearing his sinuses. And I'm wondering if this episode they might have added a few moments because it seemed very deliberate.
It did, yeah.
I don't know.
There were a lot
that
of
might
them.
be a little
There
bit
were a lot
behind the
of them this
scenes. I
episode.
feel like they wanted us to know that Hunter has sinus
Has a mucus issue.
problems. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I know you said justice for Thomas. You what didn't you like about Thomas's exit, and what did you think of Thomas other than the fact that you think he's hot?
I truly think he was honest. I think he told the guys at one point, like, I am good with my words. I know that I always say the right thing. So he's aware of that. And I think that he was truly honest about, he said he was there to be or thought about being the Bachelor. Definitely said he wasn't there to be the Bachelor, but he said he thought about it, which I mean, a lot of guys do. Am I wrong? I don't know.
Everyone does.
Yeah. Okay. I think he was honest about it. And I think he didn't get a chance to, he stood up at the end of the rose ceremony and kind of said, I apologize to Katie. I apologize to the guys. And I think he got an unfair exit. He hung his head low and he walked out. And I don't know. I think he deserved better. Well, but also, I don't know everything that happened. So there could have been something that they didn't show. I mean, he could be a complete monster.
According to Katie, she said he admitted to being mean to Trey. We've all been mean
all
before.
The guys are mean to each other.
I don't know. I obviously, when I talked to Katie, I tried to get some more context. Katie, said all she heard was Thomas, from Thomas. So like, yeah, we'll see. Katie had some strong takes on Thomas, but I have a feeling we'll see him in paradise. And I think if there is a redemption opportunity, maybe it could be Thomas. We shall see. We'll see. All right. The episode opens, essentially it's Blake. Right.
The episode opens with Connor and Greg snuggling on the couch.
Oh yes, thank you. See, Greg, Connor and Greg that was an intimate moment.
It was kind of cute.
I'm all for man love, but that was a gentleness that I don't think we've seen on The Bachelorette ever. How did you feel about it? Did you like
endearing.
That? You liked that?
It was endearing. They definitely seem like close buddies.
So if you were at work and you came home and say Jared was over and Jared and I were snuggling. We're just watching maybe say The Bachelorette and Jared's head's on my shoulder and I'm just kind of
rubbing his head.
There wasn't there some caressing?
I feel like maybe. I don't know.
I feel like it felt like that energy. I have to go back and confirm. I don't know if there was caressing, but there was a gentleness, and you would be would you be like,
I would probably be a little startled. Be like, what's going on here, guys?
We're close.
Yeah.
I don't know. Jared's having a long day, and I just wanted to make him feel good.
Laying on the couch.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
There was a gentleness there.
It was sweet. I want to know the backstory of that. I would like to know if they just leaned into each other. What happened? How did that come about?
I do want to know. I do.
Me too.
I do want some answers. I don't know, Connor B or Greg, if you are out there, if you could just reach out to the show and let us know if you guys are just pals. Was there an endearing moment? Maybe because, sometimes there could something that happened and maybe
they were talking about something sad and they hugged and maybe just kind of laid there
Connor
for a little
was
bit.
just opening up. He was just like, guys, I don't like buttons.
I knew you were going to say that.
I don't like them, and I always feel judged by it. And Greg's like, hey, man, I think you look great without buttons.
And they're like, let's hug.
And then they were hugging, and that's when we got that shot.
Maybe.
Summer is here, people, and there's never been a better time to try a shirt from Untucked because, listen, we like to wear our shirts untucked. We want to get loose. We're getting outside. We're getting free. We want to spread our wings. We don't want to look sloppy. And now you can wear shirts that are meant to be worn untucked, so you don't have like that dad outfit on. No disrespect to dad outfit. Untucked makes shirts designed to be worn untucked. They have fits for all shapes and sizes. Untucked offers up to sizes XXXL. Plus, they even have slim, relaxed, and tall fits. Untuckit has 85 stores nationwide, free returns and exchanges. I wear my Untuckit shirts. I get constant compliments about like how slim and fitting it is, and that's all because of Untuckit. Use code VIALL for 20% off your first purchase at untuckit.com. That's VIALL for 20% off your first purchase at untuckit.com. Each and every, I tell you what, very few things I'm consistent with in making sure I smell good, and each and every is the deodorant that truly I believe is adding years to my life. No bullshit. I only say that because of what I know about deodorants and how bad they are for your body. Just crap. Aluminum, things I'm allergic to, and they're just like, whether you're allergic to or not, it's not good for you. And each and every is a natural deodorant that doesn't have that crap. They have 6 simple, safe ingredients for free of aluminum, free of parabens and other chemicals, the scents from essential oils, no synthetic fragrances. It's skin sensitive friendly. And the most important part, you're not giving anything up. You smell fantastic. It lasts all day long. I'm a sweater. I never get complaints about, I apply in the morning. I smell good all day long. Trust us. Each and every is an everyday essential. The limited edition sandalwood and black and pepper is back in stock. So if you love it, go get it. You've got to try this. And we have a special deal just for our listeners, 30% off your first purchase. Visit our URL, eachandevery.com/VIALL and use promo code VIALL30. That's VIALL30. Don't wait. Get 30% off now. Use promo code VIALL30 at eachandevery.com/VIALL.
So after the caress, Blake really finally is making his entrance into the show. I actually just showed Natalie the clip from when I came on Caitlin's season, and we got to watch Blake. How do you compare the two? Both awkward. Mm-hmm. Did you like it? Blake, I almost kind of respected Blake. Here's what I essentially said to the guys. I walked in and said, I'll keep it simple. I'm not here to cause drama. I'm not here to create a scene. I actually kind of dig this girl from the little bit I know, which that part was a lie. And I'd like to get to know her a little bit more. Also, Aaron watches The Bachelorette a lot.
Oh, yeah. As soon as he walked in, he
walked in.
That's Blake.
Whoa, okay. So he's done his homework. Also, Tayshia's here to reinforce that apparently, Tayshia's going out of her way to be like, I like this guy.
This is a guy from
This
my
is a guy.
past.
He's a good dude. Yeah.
How much does she know him well? Did they spend a lot of time together?
I don't remember Blake ever getting a one-on-one with Claire or Tayshia. I don't believe Blake got any real time with Tayshia. I said this last week. I don't know why. There's no, Blake did not reach out to Tayshia and be like, get me on this season. He definitely reached out to the show, and then maybe at some point he talked to Blake. They talked, so that Tayshia's not quote unquote lying, but yeah. And that's not Tayshia's fault. That's the show deciding to pretend, even though they do talk about and show producers, I don't know why they do that, but whatever. So Tayshia comes in, sets it up. Blake, Aaron knows it's Blake right away. Greg is just kind of Greg says, I feel like I'm dating Katie at this point, and it's hard to see someone new come in. I can't help but wonder what their connection is going to be like. It sucks. Blake goes, listen, straight up.
Straight up.
I don't know.
No bullshit.
Hey, straight up, man. I know exactly how you guys feel right now. I thought that was an interesting choice of words because actually you don't.
He hasn't been on that end.
He hasn't been on that end. Yeah.
Did anyone come in on, obviously I didn't watch Claire or Tayshia's season, but did any of the, a new guy come in halfway through? Obviously I know.
No, I don't know. I don't believe so. Now, had Jared, let's say, no, Jared's married, but let's say a guy from Caitlin's season came in on this season and was on the other side of the couch from where I was. They could be I know how you feel.
Yeah, totally.
But Blake doesn't know how these guys feel. I'm assuming he's related to them just being in The Bachelorette, but not, he doesn't know how Greg feels, Mr. First Impression Rose, one-on-one, I'm connecting with this girl. New wrinkle, new guy coming in. How much does he know? We've seen this story before. If you're Aaron, who is a super
avid
fan,
Bachelor watcher,
Aaron knows all the deets. He's just we know this guy named Nick probably came in.
He's on Bachelorette.
He's on Bachelorette. So then he goes, he knows how you feel. I don't like the tension already. So Blake's complaining about the tension that the guys.
I mean, I'm sure he felt it as soon as
I
he
just
walked
felt
in.
like it was, I don't know.
I think it was nice of him to acknowledge it.
Yeah, he did all right. I kind of feel a sigh. The only reason I'm here is because of Katie, okay? And then, Michael says, we're all here because Katie's awesome, too. I mean, the only other question is, why'd you come halfway? And then the real answer is it's because
He had a quarantine.
the producers made me. And Blake's like, yeah, I would have liked to get in here earlier, but, I wasn't allowed. Sure. She was very hesitant at the beginning just because of she also wanted to be super respectful to you guys. I mean, this is where I think Blake does a really good job of.
You definitely did not give the guys what Blake gave them. You come in and you're like, listen, I'm here. I dig her. Sorry about it.
Do you think Blake was nicer?
Yes. Look at him. He's so sincere. He's
You
like,
don't
I
think
feel
I was sincere?
No.
Okay.
I just think you were like, I'm here. What's up? I like Caitlin. Deal with it.
I didn't say deal with it.
No, you didn't, but I think you were like that.
Are you projecting what you know about me?
Yeah. Maybe that's unfair. I'm sorry.
Sorry, guys. Just deal with it. And then, Courtney says something. Let's see. We just had a guy here who was not so okay. Courtney refers to Thomas, and Blake goes, yeah. So I was part of last season with Claire and Tasha. I honestly don't get this whole technically I've dated 2 bachelorettes, which again, yes, technically, but the fact that he keeps bringing it up, whether they make him bring it up or not, that's kind of unfair to Blake.
It's not his fault.
That's not his fault. He had nothing to do with it. He is there to fall. There's a bunch of guys here this season who've had no time with Katie and no justifiable reason to talk about how strong their feelings are, and yet they're doing that as well. So,
also known as Hunter.
Also known as Hunter. We'll get into that in a second. And then he gets. I love the. I don't forget what Blake specifically said when he got the group date rose, but it was kind of like, all right, well.
He said, obviously this is good for me or something.
Yeah, did he say that? Obviously this is good for me. It's like, yeah, we don't need you to, thanks for pointing out
right,
the obvious.
Yeah.
It was, but I appreciate the awkwardness. I think Blake was a really interesting character last year. You like Blake, but I don't know how to describe him. He's a unique, eclectic guy. He has a very, he just has a very deliberate personality.
He seems very down to earth.
Down to earth, but even when he talks very deliberate, I just want you to, I can't even do an impression.
The opposite of you. He's
very,
well, you just not in a bad way. You just kind of mumble and you do. It's not a bad thing at all.
Yeah.
I love you so much if you didn't know that.
You're doing great. Tell me how great Blake is compared.
No. I'm just saying, I think he speaks he pronounces every single letter in every word.
I am here.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah. You could never misunderstand anything he says. You're like, I don't know what he said, but I think it was something.
I think it was.
I don't know if you know this, but Madonna is an American icon in more ways than one. She's the embodiment of the American dream, a woman from humble beginnings who transformed herself into the material girl and became not only the biggest pop star on the planet, but a movie star and the world's #1 trendsetter. On an all-new season of Wondery's Even the Rich, the hosts tell a rags to riches story of how Madonna became the queen of pop. What makes Madonna remarkable is that she stayed on top for 4 decades, while countless other pop stars came and went. Listen, a lot of Madonna fans out there, I know I am, and this sounds so fascinating, so be sure to check it out. Listen to the latest season of Even the Rich, The Making of Madonna, and on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or you can listen and ad-free by joining Wondery Plus on the Wondery app. Wondery, feel the story. So Blake gets the 101. He's afraid of horses.
As they all are, I feel like.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I mean, there's always a horseback riding date.
There is.
And I feel like they're going to put the person who's like, oh, never been on a horse. I'm kind of scared of horses, to kind of mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that right or wrong?
I don't remember a lot of people being afraid of horses, but there are a lot of people who are afraid of the activity they're forced to do.
Which is very understandable. I mean, horses can be scary. I get it.
You know a lot about horses.
I do, yeah.
You're not afraid of horses.
I've been thrown off so many horses. It's quite terrifying. So I guess I understand. I'm sorry for hating if I did.
But you don't hate horses. You love horses.
No, I love horses.
Yeah.
I love horses.
Great. Did anything happen during the day part other than them riding horses?
Not really, no. They just walked and talked.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then we go to the night portion, and this things get serious. Obviously, they in the show even put a trigger warning up. I was like, what are they going to talk about? It's good for the show for doing that. And it makes sense. Blake wasn't there for Katie's story.
Yeah.
And I don't remember. Obviously, Katie shared her story about the sexual assault that she experienced on the date that I was on. But did she talk about it with the other men in the house on that date? I don't believe that she did. I don't think she's like, hey, there's this thing I talked about. Obviously,
yeah, I don't quite
you wonder if maybe
remember.
the other guys in the house talked about it, but it didn't seem like
everyone
got the update. For whatever reason, it seemed important to Katie. Now, granted, Blake asked a very specific question about why she is sex positive. It seemed kind of like a random, hey, I'm so happy to be here. Yeah. So tell me, why are you sex positive? Now, but maybe, she clearly likes Blake. Blake's going to be here for a while. Mm-hmm. But it seemed, for whatever reason, either the show or Blake's just general interest in her sex positivity, Katie told the story that she told the group of men, and that was talking about, yeah, I seem sex positive, or I am sex positive, but that hasn't always been the case. And she told the story about the sexual assault. And I know that you've actually, when Katie told her story, you really appreciated her sharing that.
And props to her to share it again. She spoke about it one time in front of a bunch of men, and then to have to reshare that story again. I mean, I've been through something similar. Unfortunately, I think a lot of women have, whether it's being catcalled or, groped in a bar. I think all women have been through something. So I think she handles it very well, and she speaks about it very well. So props to her, truly.
You had a reaction in terms of, you said that you thought when we were watching it that Blake handled his response. You liked his response, and you thought it was really well done. And you said to me, when you've dated other guys in the past, and you shared some stories with me about things you've been through, and some tragedies you've faced, but you've obviously dated other guys, and you've shared these experiences, and you've said to me that's not always the case. I haven't had a positive experience talking about was sharing my story, and if I was dating a guy and I felt it was important for him to know, and you thought Blake did a good job. Can you speak to a little bit more about that in terms of those experiences and on what guys have done that you didn't like, or guys, not to throw anyone on the bus, but just more of a kind of a learning opportunity for any young men or people listening. Like, what did you like about what Blake said, and what has happened, or what responses have you got in the past where you're like, you couldn't?
Right. Well, I think there's a handful of reactions. That's a hard thing to not only talk about, but to listen to and to hear. It's heartbreaking, and I think it's not a lot of men or women, whoever is receiving the information, it's not an easy thing to respond to. It's kind of awkward, and you feel bad, I guess. You just don't really know what to say. And I think Blake did a great job of handling it. And I think what he said, I don't remember quite what he said, but he was, apologetic, and he sympathized with her. And, I've had men in the past, whether it was immaturity or not knowing what to say or whatever, but have blamed me or have turned it around on me to where I didn't.
Almost what did you do to get yourself in a situation like that kind of thing?
Right. And it makes you not want to tell anyone or talk about it again, because then it kind of reassures that feeling of like, was it my fault? Like, did I do something wrong? So the reaction that you get when you tell someone this is very important, especially in my case, in your story.
Yeah, and Blake, I think more importantly, just he, like kind of like you said, was empathetic and then reassured her.
I feel like he made her feel safe. He
Yeah.
made her feel comfortable. She, it wasn't an awkward conversation by any means. I don't think she felt uncomfortable speaking about it. It is an uncomfortable topic, but I think Blake did a great job of making her feel like she was going to be okay.
Yeah, like it's like
was
he
safe.
didn't say too much.
Right.
He just reassured her, I'm still here,
Yeah.
and if anything, I'm more connected to you because of what you shared, and we've, and yeah. And so props to Blake. I just, I think
absolutely.
that's important to bring
And props
up.
to Katie.
Props to
for going through it
Katie.
again.
Because those are tough conversations to have, and kind of like what you pointed out is when people share their stories, it can be very hard, and it's sometimes unfortunate how people do choose to handle it. And yes, we know it can be awkward, but always consider how hard it might be, as you're pointing out, for them to even share it, let alone talk about it. Then there's a level of trust that you're giving someone to say, I'm sharing this about me. So again, always we appreciate Katie talking about it, and good on Blake for doing a great job, because he was the only one, like when Katie shared it the first time, we were all just sitting there and listening to her, and we wanted to make sure we talked, but this was a one-on-one conversation. This was, more like what you would, see in real life when you're dating someone, and like, hey, I want to tell you something, just this might make sense, or
it's
might come up.
who she is.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then they have he gets a rose, the musical guest. Who's the musical guest?
Delaney Hardy. He was great.
You a fan?
Yeah, I
was
am a fan.
Really nice. Natalie likes country music. That's one of the things we don't.
We disagree on. I play it all the time.
She plays it all the time.
Yep.
She knows all the words to all the songs. But they have a nice little moment. So I think this reaffirms to us that Blake is absolutely a front runner. He is here to stay. He will be a major part of the storyline.
I think they immediately had connection. I mean, chemistry, connection. I think
I believed when I interviewed Katie, I asked her. I guess I believed her. I didn't believe her explanation on why she cried.
When Tayshia told her and she started crying.
Yeah. For all we know, that could have been like a pickup, and she just didn't know how to like say that, and like the timing might have been off. We all know, like, I kind of pointed it out, and then like the internet noticed that she was wearing the same outfit on the date that we had on. Like she met Blake that day, so who knows? But I kind of do buy Katie's explanation that her and Blake really didn't talk that much, only because I really think when I was interviewing her, I really think I would have gotten out of it, only because I was like, are we really going to hear? Because I kind of was pointing out, like, we're going to find out.
Yeah.
So like, why don't you just tell me now? And she stuck to her gun. So I kind of believe that her and Blake didn't talk that much before. But either way, he's here to stay. And then we get into the group date. Our boy Wells is on.
Yes. And very short shorts.
Very short shorts. Francisco, who made his debut on my season,
did he?
And he's been back multiple times now. So he's a Bachelor mainstay. And good for Francisco that he's a photographer, and usually he came in for like anytime they do type of a photo shoot date,
he's
shooting it. They just brought him in because he's a delightful man.
Yeah.
So he did a great job. And it got rough. What did you think of this date? I mean, honestly, for me, it was just like whatever. It was they always have a sports competition date.
The game was cool.
Whoever invented that game,
I kind of wanted to play.
Is that I wonder? It must exist. I mean, like in terms of like, there's weird games out there that like aren't mainstream. Or I wonder if they literally just made that up. I should text Wells and ask him.
Yeah, you should.
He's telling us, I'm getting live updates from Wells, that there was more to the game than it was shown. Obviously, things are edited for time. But like in basketball, if there was a foul, you could shoot a free throw, and guys could openly talk shit while you were shooting a free throw.
Oh, that would
I'm disappointed they didn't air that.
The Bachelorette
Bach Ball is the name of the game. Or, if it becomes a sport, Bach Ball. And then Franco. It's Franco. Franco Lacosta. It's Franco Lacosta, not Francisco. Franco designed the costumes, so props to Franco. That makes sense. Franco on my season, when he had these, he like tailored all his outfits.
The costumes were something else. So
I really think this could be a game. Like, I'm down to
play also.
You want to play the rugby version? Yeah. But all the guys were too nice and wouldn't talk shit, so we scrapped it. Oh, the guys were too nice.
Wow. I feel like
so there was nothing.
Hunter would have been ready to talk shit at any moment.
I don't think Hunter could talk shit.
Really?
There's like talking so shit's more like being. Yeah, but that's like that's not talking shit. It's just I don't know if yo mama jokes are so cool in 2021, but you know what I'm saying? It would be like that.
Yeah.
Where the guys wearing cups. I need to know.
Serious information. Who was it?
Justin.
Justin.
Or does Justin just have a
package on him?
Like
huge cock.
Wells confirmed that the guys were in fact wearing cups. Okay. So, because all the guys looked girthy.
Yeah, they definitely did.
They were all showers.
Mm-hmm.
But
Justin
turns out they were wearing cups. So they were wearing protection. And I gotta say, Aaron Aaron is a behemoth. The man is jacked.
Yeah, he came out. I'm very surprised. I feel like I would not expect him to be as like chiseled as he is.
I figured he'd be in shape.
Yeah.
And just kind of have a nice kind of flat.
Yeah.
Kind of like
good body.
Yeah, that's fine. But
he came out, I was like,
it's very,
very chiseled.
Very sculpted. Hunter,
like they said, a Tasmanian devil.
Yes. I mean, I think I agree with really all the commentary coming from the guys.
Me too.
That Hunter's a Tasmanian devil. What else?
Looks like he's from the circus.
They suggested that Hunter, I thought it was a little harsh.
But like what part of the circus? Because there's lots of parts.
That's true. Like they think Hunter could be from the circus. We see even more of Hunter's tattoo. So it's been like each week. Last week we saw the sleeve, which it's a
great sleeve.
And then now we see that there's more. It kind of covers his whole chest. It's very like it's like I feel like he wanted to give off the impression that he's like a cyborg. It kind of looks like, it's not like a bunch of scatter tattoos.
Right.
It's like an arm.
It looks like one piece.
Like one piece.
Yeah.
How do you like your tattoos? Do you like Hunter's tattoo, or do you prefer more small many?
I mean, I don't know what his tattoos are of, and that
does it matter?
Sometimes, yeah, like a tribal tattoo is very douchey.
It looks tribal.
I don't know what it is, but a tribal tattoo is very. If you're dating a guy with a tribal tattoo, run. But I don't know what his is. I mean, it looks good from afar.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it's of.
It does look good from
afar. It does look good from afar.
Well, he's running around there and he's getting low blows. Like he's going for people's knees and ankles. I thought that was a little dirty. Now I get he's not the tallest individual, so maybe that was just like default. He's like, I'm trying to tackle high, but like I always go low. But no, he was like, that was kind of a dirty way to play. The guys kind of blame the physicality of the game based off of Hunter, which in defense of Hunter, I don't totally buy. Like if there was one guy running around just like knocking people out and everyone didn't feel like getting physical, they're gonna be like, bro, chill the fuck out. But they all blame Hunter. Even Aaron specifically blames Hunter for how the game.
Aaron points fingers for sure.
Aaron is a huge.
He is
pointer.
like a tattletale. Like I feel like he snitched on everyone.
He's a good-looking guy. He's massive. He's tall. He's chiseled. Why doesn't he just lead with like that? He leads with his tattles.
He does.
His information. It's Hunter's fault. Anyway, and then someone has the audacity, and it was unclear. In the previews, they make it seem like it's Hunter, but it was in fact Justin.
I don't even know if it was Justin. It was someone with like side tattoos.
We had to I think it was Justin because we rewound it back and Justin said, I feel bad, but like, dude, you hit him in the back.
Yeah, he definitely hit him.
I mean, he could have been like, he got caught up in the moment. It was a dirty play. It was that you could really hurt someone. You could really hurt someone's spleen. Their kidneys
and
are back there.
Especially the fact that it was Michael.
Yeah.
Like it couldn't
the
have
whole
been
time,
anyone
Michael
else.
was just like, guys, this is like the whole like, yeah, it was a dirty play. He was even running around with the ball. Like, what do you want me to do with this ball, guys? Like, am I supposed to like, what direction am I running?
Looking around.
He was kind of
What
like
do
looking
I do?
around. Like, what do you like? Can I give the ball to somebody?
Yeah.
And then Justin comes out of nowhere. It was just unnecessary. So far we've gotten a great facial expressions from Justin. He
Very
seems like a nice
animated.
guy. He was in the group share. I had nothing but positive. Experience. I didn't really get to know him much, but he seemed like a nice guy. But it was a dirty play. But Katie cancels the game, and as luck would have it, Michael's injury basically saves all the guys. Which Michael was on the team that was winning at the time. So sometimes they leave it open ended because on my season, I told the girls they played volleyball.
Okay.
They got all drunk. When you watch the season back, it made no sense. And that's what happened. They were just drunk and just started throwing a temper tantrum.
Oh, okay.
But I told them before the game, hey, losing team goes home, winning team comes back. Vanessa's team
lost.
And the plan the whole time was to, we were never going to send any. It didn't matter who won. I was always going to be like, just kidding.
Yeah.
And that wasn't my call, but whatever. But because Vanessa's team won, it caused a lot of drama because everyone.
Wait, did her team lose?
I'm
or
sorry,
win?
you're right. Her team lost, and thank you. Because Vanessa's team lost, it looked like to the other team that the only reason I changed the line is because Vanessa's team lost, which really got me on the shit list. But either way, so whatever reason, Katie decides Michael's hurt. We're all going to the cocktail party of the date. And I honestly thought there was going to be a lot of drama. We're kind of setting up like this Hunter kind of villain arc. Hunter is this guy, so I'd like to point out, you had a nice observation on the rugby date when we were watching that Hunter and Katie are doing tackling drills. And it's the first time, to our knowledge, that Hunter and Katie have had any physical touch.
Yeah. And he's like loving it. God.
Yeah.
He's like, we could spend all day just doing tackle runs.
Hunter is like, he has, God bless him, a lot of confidence. He has a lot of confidence in the relationship. And again, we don't get to see everything, but we usually get to see connections. And Hunter talks like him and Katie just have a ton in common. And other than their height, they're like the same height. What else do they have in common? What?
It's just funny.
That's just
it's true. Yeah, they're both. What did you say? They're 5'3". They're both 5'3".
I don't know. I'm sure Hunter might be a little, but they look the same height.
They do.
We don't see, so Hunter has all this confidence in this relationship with Katie, and he's referred to Katie already in other episodes as my girlfriend, my girl, that's my girl, and it's just like, I know you're on The Bachelorette, but
how many conversations have they had? Because that was the first time
that we've seen. I don't think. Yeah,
I don't think any. I feel like maybe a little bit here.
Nothing
and there,
that memorable.
Nothing that. Yeah.
I also want to point out, obviously, that the significance of Blake's one-on-one. We're backtracking a little bit. Is that we pointed out last week? I think this is the third. We're in week 5, but this is only the third one-on-one. And I know you're not a historian of the Bachelor franchise. It's
rare.
That's rare.
Okay.
It's not a lot, and it's all that more reason to have these guys mad at Blake. But so far, it seems like Blake is. I could see it'll be interesting. I don't know if Blake really is going to be, get himself in a kind of a villainous situation.
I don't think so.
Tasha, bringing Tasha in 2 different times to be tell the audience and tell the guys, I think he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Carries a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And I feel like that it means that, there might be a couple skirmishes, but I don't think the overall theme is going to be questioning Blake's.
I feel like he's a bros bro. I feel like he's going to get along with all of them, and they're all going to kind of I think it'll move to Hunter, and they'll kind of forget about Blake.
It was unclear how
because like him and Andrew seemed like, yeah, it was Andrew when all the guys were on the group date and it was like just them two. They were like, really, but I don't know if they're supposed to be.
But Andrew feels like he could get in front along with anyone.
Yeah,
Andrew was the one guy who was like, Andrew is a perfect guy for Blake to be like alone in the house with.
Yeah, that's
Andrew
true.
is like, I'm just gonna worry about my connection.
Right.
I'm not gonna be intimidated, and not like in a Hunter sort of way where he's aggressive about it. He's just like,
true.
I don't know, I'm just not gonna involve myself. So yeah, and Andrew's kind of nice to everyone. But Hunter's confidence, I don't quite get it, and he does it in a way where it's just so like, it's the opposite. Like, he projects a lot of confidence. Like, he goes out of his way to project a lot of confidence, but it sometimes comes across as an insecurity because it's like, where is this coming from? And maybe like he has this kind of a very pit bull kind of like personality, and it's abrasive.
Like, it was bad. It was bad on the group date. Like, during his confidence level has been very high. I think he's just thought him and Katie are going to run away together the whole time. But I think it got so much worse. The rose did not help. The drama rose that she gave him did not help.
So for those of you who didn't know if this was a love rose or a drama rose, as we pointed out last week with Dave Holmes on the recap, this was 100% a Hunter percent a drama rose.
Yep. And it just fed his ego.
Oh, it just
he
fell.
loved
Oh my God.
it.
Yeah, it was a drama rose for a couple reasons, because it was a type of rose that I think they knew that Hunter was just like, I got this. I deserve this. I mean, like, he showed pictures
of his kids. Yeah.
Okay.
But also, like, it was Michael's wife's birthday yesterday.
Yeah.
In the episode. And they shared that moment together.
Which is why it was, if Michael got the rose, it would have been a love rose.
And didn't Courtney get wrapped up in some toilet paper? That felt like meaningful.
You knew Courtney was going home as soon as the toilet paper came out. And it was like that. Those are one of those moments where, like, Courtney seemed like a nice guy. He's, him and Katie don't have a connection, and he's just like, I don't know, maybe I'll just do this one little bit with Katie.
Yeah,
and
it'll be cute. Sweep her off her feet.
Justin gets a little one-on-one time with Katie, and we haven't really seen Justin at this point. I was like, Justin could be going home. But as we see in the season trailer, like, I think Justin,
he's around for a while.
Might be around for a while.
Yeah.
And Katie did say when we had her on that there are some guys we haven't really gotten to get to know that we will, and Mike and Justin might be two of those guys.
Can we talk about Michael's speech to all the guys about when he told them?
Yeah. Oh, and Greg crying.
Yes.
I don't know if Michael made me cry, or I think honestly Greg made me cry. I think Greg crying to Michael. I'm getting emotional thinking about it now. But like, Greg was just like listening to the story, and I like Greg. I've always liked Greg, but I really like Greg now because I don't think people on the internet, I don't know if you've been following, but apparently Greg went to acting school at some point, and when it comes to Bachelor Nation, that is like
not
punching
allowed.
an old lady in the face. Like that's like, as far as Bachelor fans are concerned, like you're not supposed to like do any type of performance schooling, because this is all supposed to be so.
Right, I get it.
Bachelor Nation is a buzz. Some people don't trust Greg because he went to acting school, as if actors can't fall in love. I don't quite get the direct correlation, but either way, either Greg truly is an amazing actor, or he was very just touched, and rightfully so, by Michael's story.
I mean, he was like, time is precious, and not just in this world, but also like in life in general. And he was like, and then after that, Greg was like, I'm going to talk to Katie. He's like, I gotta get this out, like, and he goes to her, and I feel like they had a very intimate chat.
Yeah, and Greg is going through the classic early validation, and Katie's just like, you seem like you're struggling on group dates. Like, I had Andy point that out to me, and I was just like, because they fucking suck. We had a couple real dates and real moments, and now I'm here and I'm playing Bach Ball with a bunch of guys and like fine, and I'm eating hot peppers, but like I'm trying to get to know you, and I'm having a hard time doing that on a group date. But what I learned the second time I went on the show is like, fuck it is a show, and just have fun and get out of your head. Where Greg, it would make sense that Greg's like, you know, it's hard to feel really real feelings in that world, and you're trying to process these feelings, and you know you're on a crazy TV show, and it all seems silly, and it's hard to feel feelings that feel real to you,
right,
and do silly things at the same time, and be like, it's weird. So you see Greg struggling with that, and like you pointed out, Michael, his kind of reminder of just life in general, is a catalyst for Greg to be like, you know what, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna get out of my head, and I'm gonna sit down with Katie.
Which ultimately ended in Katie telling him that he has a resting sad face. Which I feel like I'd rather be told I have a resting bitch face than a resting sad face.
Do you think so?
Yeah, resting sad face. It's like,
do I have a resting bitch face?
Yeah,
right.
But not. Yeah, I think most people do, honestly.
Well, some more than others.
Yeah.
I mean, I look kind of grumpy.
You definitely don't look sad.
Yeah. I like
intimidating.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't look grumpy.
So you think, yeah, and Greg seemed a little...
He was like, what? I do?
He seemed a
He was
little
like
hurt
offended.
by it.
Yeah.
I don't know but in fairness to Katie, I was like, he does kind of look a little
poor
mopey.
Greg.
Do you disagree with Katie?
Maybe. I just don't know if I'd like...
Oh, no.
I wouldn't say it.
I
definitely would not say it.
You're a very polite person.
I don't know.
But it's been said by Katie. Now that it's been said, now that it's out there,
I feel like I'll notice it more. I'll be like, he does.
That was my take. I was like,
Yeah.
You know what? I couldn't put a finger on it, but good on Katie. He does have a little bit
I've
of a
been trying to
pout.
figure out what's wrong with him this whole time.
Hey, I'm Greg. It's okay. Greg is there, and it is important because Katie mentions that she thought Greg was going to leave. Yeah. I think Katie is very insecure about someone she likes leaving. She mentioned she gets her heart broken this season. I think possibilities of people who break her heart are Greg. I think it's going to be Greg or Michael.
You don't think it'll be Blake?
Could be Blake. Well, the little rest of the season teasers, that might have been the best. We're getting ahead of ourselves, but like that was a very compelling.
Showed a lot.
The post-production did a great job. It could be Blake because Blake's like, I'm not there yet, but that could literally, I could tell you how that can go. He's like, they could literally go like this because we heard Blake, I'm not in love yet, but that could literally go something like this: I'm not in love yet, but I am falling so in love, and I am so close. And it could
just cut it, and
it could have like romantic music, and it could be totally, we don't know, but. They want us. It could be Blake, could be Greg. Michael might leave. Like, oh, how heartbreaking was like? Do you not want to see? They show a clip of Michael's son saying,
"Oh my gosh,
Dad,
do you not want to see me?" Or something?
I would literally be like, "Sorry, Katie,
I would leave too.
I'm gone. I am absolutely gone."
I would too.
I don't know, but Michael deserves love, and he seems like he's really falling for Katie. So tough situation to be in. Back to Hunter.
The group date.
Now that we've covered some of these other Greg's mopey, sad face. Do you think Greg's going to walk around and smile all the time now?
Now he's like determined to not be sad.
Hi.
Ever.
Hey guys. Hey. You guys want a party? Yeah. So Hunter gets the drama rose, and oh my God, that gasses him up. Aaron's decided, you're next on my list, motherfucker. I got Thomas.
I'm sending you home.
Aaron has so much confidence. I mean, and is rightfully so. Carl.
Who was the first guy that Aaron got sent home? He knew him from his hometown.
Yeah.
Or something.
So thank you. I totally forgot about
first
Aaron.
Guy.
It was Cody?
Christian or something.
I think it was
like
Cody.
That. I don't know.
It doesn't matter. But he got that guy sent home.
Yeah.
He didn't really get Carl sent home, but he definitely was part of the assault.
And then Thomas.
He definitely really led that. He was the first one to be like, Thomas sucks. And then everyone's like, yeah, Thomas sucks. And other people fought those battles. And we'll see. Not that Hunter has been demonstrating some sucky behavior, but Aaron, you can tell Aaron, like when Aaron doesn't like you, watch out.
Seriously.
It's not a good sign for you.
Stay on Aaron's good side.
Stay on Aaron's good side, because that man will absolutely, he won't use his muscles or his size. He will just complain and whine about you until everyone hates you.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, I mean, Andrew gets a one-on-one. It's a night date. I mean, oh yeah, there is lots to talk about. We love Andrew.
Love Andrew. Love him.
I mean, there's not much more to say. He's very charming. I mean, you know, the conversation you had with Katie, I mean, the big thing to discuss on this date, obviously, is the conversation you had with Katie about
his father
and race. And he brought up, obviously, he's a black man. He's dating a white woman. It was, I mean, you hear these stories. I mean, it was, it's not that I'm not naive enough to think that these conversations sadly happen. When he mentioned that his girlfriend, a white woman, you know, who I'm assuming this was the same woman he mentioned that he was close to getting engaged with.
Right.
When they were talking about having kids, talked about the fact that she struggled with the idea that her kids would be mixed race. I mean, I think we both were watching that kind of like,
yeah.
But sadly, we're not naive to know that obviously things like racism and ignorance still exist in our country. Props to Katie.
Question: I know there's been people of color on the show before. Has this conversation ever come about?
Specifically, like where he was like, not like in that sense. No.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Because I feel like it is definitely an important conversation to have.
Yes, I don't. To my knowledge, I don't remember any. And I know you've watched recently. Like the Bachelor hasn't always been good on having a lot of diversity in the past.
Right.
Up until my season of The Bachelor, prior to that, you would have 2 or 3 people of color. They would be there for 3 or 4 weeks. They would go home. We didn't really get to know any of them. They weren't getting one-on-ones, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and so sadly, while I'm sure a lot of these conversations do exist and go on,
they weren't happening.
We're hearing it for the first time because diversity in the Bachelor franchise hasn't always happened. But Andrew brings it up.
Yeah.
Obviously, he gives us a little more insight about his father, and you know, it endears you to Andrew even more. I love what he said, and I don't care if it's a band, a performance, or concert. You can just tell, and like, you just obviously believe the sincerity of how good of like you can tell Andrew like has this passion to really be a father in his kids' lives, wants to be, and it just obviously like whatever people want, if they want to be a father or not. But if you do have kids, it's good to know that he wants to be a father.
I think it's definitely shaped you. I mean, I like when in my past, I grew up with an absent father for the most part, and it makes me think about like I definitely want to have children with someone who wants to be present and being the best father they could possibly be, because I didn't have that. You know, so it's like super important for me. And I feel like a lot of people who grew up without a parent feels that way also, that they're like, I'm determined to be the best dad or the best mom possible because I grew up without it.
Yeah. Did you like the question that was on the date? Like and that was before they had dinner when they asked, what's one thing you learned
from your parents
that you didn't, was it that they didn't like?
I think so.
I liked that question. Do you have an answer?
Honestly, I think the same as Andrew. I mean, like to be present, to not miss any moment of my children's life, I think is very important. There's so many moments in my life that I feel like shaped me, and my dad was not around, you know, and my mom took on both of the roles and she killed it and she did an absolutely amazing job. But I do think of a lot of times where I'm like, I wish my dad would have been there.
Yeah.
So definitely being present.
Sorry, babe.
It's okay.
Your mom's awesome.
My mom is amazing. My mom has done a great job.
If I had to pick one, I was fortunate. My parents were always very present. But I think one thing I will do with my kids differently is probably have some more honest conversations about life, and there won't be, religious shame around certain things. And I love it, parents, but got to be fair to everyone. Like, not everyone's perfect, and I think it's always good. I love how Andy Grammer on the podcast talked about he'll ask people what's one thing your parents did that were great, and what's one thing that you didn't like, and no one's perfect. So that's something. Sorry, mom and dad. I will just talk a little about sex a little more freely, and other aspects of life that you guys kind of avoided.
Yep,
that's okay.
It's okay.
So yeah, Andrew gets. We love Andrew anymore. I love that you the hot tub looked
very cold.
It did not look cold, but
inviting at all.
It's because it didn't have bubbles, but it looked cold.
Looked like they were sitting in an apartment bathtub.
It didn't even look like a hot tub. It looked like a bucket of water.
Yeah.
They're get in this bucket of water so I can give you a rose. And then what's so weird about those things, they were probably in there for 5-10 minutes. And maybe there was some making out. I don't know.
Who was she kissing, laying in the hay with? What was that about?
That was Blake. We get. Thank you for reminding me.
Itchy.
I'm allergic to hay. I don't. Is that there's beach makeouts?
No. No. I mean, I grew up on a farm, and we don't.
Did the kids in high school?
Nobody likes hay. It's itchy and pokey, and it's not comfortable at all.
Yeah, I don't. So that wasn't really a hot scene, but yeah, Blake and Katie made out in hay. So the tub of water that Blake got hay. Andrew got a tub of water that we assume was warm, but it definitely wasn't hot. I can guarantee it wasn't hot, and there were no bubbles.
The makeout scenes, I will say, in this season are quite aggressive.
They are, but I think the only constant is Katie. So I think Katie loves a good hard makeout. Yeah. The guys seem to be reciprocating, and there's no judgment, but there's not a lot of soft kisses. It's a lot of
they're leaning up.
Katie, elevates herself, and so good on Katie. But there are some aggressive kisses this season.
I think Connor is the most aggressive, to be honest, 100. And he's the smallest.
We forgot. No, yes, thank you for reminding me. Connor's playing the ukulele, and he's clearly a very talented musician.
Right.
He is. We can't even confirm that the shirt was buttoned at all. For all we know, it was wide open.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if that's better or worse than only buttoning 3 buttons so that the V-neck is just
your belly button.
Just to your belly button. So it is unclear whether it was completely wide open or it was that deep. He had
his chains. He loves some chains.
I don't mind the chains, whatever, but the V-neck is low. And he's a beautiful musician, and I loved how Katie's that was so beautiful, and Connor nods yes it was. That's how I get laid.
Yeah,
that was Connor's reaction. I don't know how else to because he just nods and goes, mm-hmm.
He's like, yep, it was.
Yeah, and I'm half naked already. So should we can I close the deal here? I only assume that's how Connor forgot he was on the show, and he's just all right, I'm not Aaron. Right. I don't look like Aaron. Aaron's go-to is tattling and just being taking his shirt off. And Connor's I'm an incredibly talented musician. I'm going to play some music, and I'm going to make it easy on her by being I'm just going to have my shirt off. Yeah. I'm going to be wide open. Yeah. And then he was just so make out?
Now?
And I love that moment. But he is a very talented musician.
I will also say I liked how when Michael and Katie were talking on the group date, he's like, "Can I kiss you?" And Katie was like, "You can kiss me whenever you want." He was like, "Well, I can't move because he just gotten injured." He's like, "I can't move." She's like, "Oh, okay, I'm coming."
Michael is incredibly endearing. I know he, at first he's here's this awkward nerdy guy, but he clearly is a man who's dealt with life, obviously. He seems like a man who's comfortable in his own skin. Again, he's not Aaron. He doesn't need to be Aaron. He's fine with not being Aaron. He doesn't try to over macho. Love Michael. Can't say enough of great things about Michael. All right, so we're wrapping it up, obviously, with the night portion. We haven't really had a ton of drama this episode. And, yeah, so this is a classic case of you have a rose, into the rose ceremony. It's an old kind of bachelor trick. Hunter's not wrong in terms of, hey, get your time. And I don't really have a problem with that. All these other guys who like don't have relations with Katie, it's just like they're gonna get mad, whatever. Yeah. It's just Hunter is so annoying about it.
He is.
He's just.
And I'm glad that Trey pointed it out. I think because they did the same thing to Thomas when Thomas was like I think they asked him if like he cared about their relationships, and he was like, "No, I'm here for Katie. Like, why would I care?" Oh yeah,
I love that. Yeah, you caught it. You actually caught it right when Trey.
Right before Trey said it. Yeah, and then Hunter did the same thing.
Yeah, he did the same. You're literally doing what you like. Yeah, again, I don't have a problem with it, but you're right. Like Hunter couldn't
freaked
when Thomas was like, "I don't really, no offense, I don't care about relationships." Hunter was beside himself. It was
he couldn't believe it.
Oh my God, yeah. I don't. Hunter needs to just laugh a little bit. I don't know, like
he's very serious and very aggressive, I think. Yes.
I don't know if there's some Napoleon, like I'm not shaming. He's not a tall guy. There is a stereotype with some, sometimes the shorter guys, will have tribal tattoos and be very aggressive in physical activities.
And drive huge trucks. Trucks.
I'm really curious what kind of car Hunter drives.
I feel like it's a Charger.
Camaro.
Could
be. But he's so like, just I don't care about these guys. I will get my time back. And Trey also got a drama rose last week.
Oh,
and Trey was like, "Hey man, I'm just here to drink Red Bull and have fun with my bros. So like you guys, she's talk to Katie and listen. You can debate whether it's okay or not, but just like Hunter's so mad at James.
Wait, before we get into that, he brought his telescope from home?
Oh, yes.
What was that?
Yeah, Hunter just goes, "So I brought this telescope from home."
She's just like, okay, like it's normal. Like that's a huge thing to pack.
If I did this correctly, that's Orion's belt. And he kind of was like steps back and was like so proud of himself. Yeah. Take a look. It's Orion's belt. Take a look while I undo my belt. He's just like, yeah. It was I don't like astrology. I assume that was his telescope.
If he said it, why would he say that if also, it's not his?
Yeah. Also, like, producers will be like, "Hey, you'll pitch ideas. Like, hey, can I get her flowers?" Like, yeah, we can get you flowers. Or like, hey, can I get this one? Can I get Taco Bell or whatever? They'll do that. But if it's like, hey, can I get a telescope?
And then he's like, "I brought this from home."
Yeah, which it doesn't travel well, but
right. I want to know how he packed that.
I will say, they're in the middle of nowhere, so the stars out there must have been really cool. But yes, maybe Hunter is a guy who's in, and that's probably my favorite thing about Hunter. I'm not even trying to tease him for it.
That he's into.
But it was like between Connor's ukulele and his unbuttoned shirt and Hunter's telescope, we're seeing their kind of like
soft sides.
On Crazy Stupid Love or Stupid Crazy Love, where it's just like she's like, "What's your move?" And he's like, "I work dirty dancing into the scene." Like Connor beats, he's like, "I don't button my shirts," and Hunter's like, "I have a telescope. I
love the stars.
I get him to look at Orion's belt, and the next thing you know, we're having a night." Yeah. So yes, Hunter has a telescope.
James interrupts.
Yeah. I always love the lurking. No man. All right. Well, I'm gonna go stand 15 feet over here. Like whatever. And then like kind of we end the night with Hunter. We're setting it up for Hunt. Like these guys are gonna start coming after Hunter, and it's gonna be great because Hunter, he's not like Hunter. Just wants everyone to know he's never gonna back down. Hunter says, "Let me make it perfectly clear," multiple times.
Yes.
Like Hunter, like we get it.
Nothing will be misconstrued.
Everything you say, you want it. You mean it.
Yeah.
We get it.
Yeah.
At the risk of people misunderstanding him, Hunter will never tell a joke.
Nope.
There's no sarcasm coming from Hunter. Do you no Hunter will never say I'm just joking. Kidding.
Joke.
I'm kidding
Yeah.
because I want to make it perfectly clear about everything I say.
Yep.
So Hunter,
I feel like if he didn't get a rose, like if he got sent home, he'd be like, no, I'm not gonna go home.
he might.
He'd be like, I'm gonna stay here.
Let me make it perfectly clear. We're in love.
I'm here for the long haul. I'm here to
and
engage, so
I
I'm
don't know
not
if
gonna
you
go
know
home
this,
until
but
I
like
engage.
I've been telling everyone that you're my girl, so
I'm not going anywhere, Katie. Sorry.
yeah, no, that's a great point. I absolutely think that there's a decent chance Hunter's like, oh, I brought a backup. Bro, I got one here.
Yeah, I brought a rose. He's
Don't
like,
worry.
I saved mine.
I got
from 4
one.
weeks
I got
ago.
one from last week.
I got it.
Don't worry, it's fine.
Totally.
I forgive you.
Yeah.
We all make mistakes.
Yeah.
Maybe this comes from like we heard on the date that Hunter stopped being a husband and a father through work, and like maybe he's overcompensating.
Maybe.
I don't know. I guess that's kind of brings us to the end. I mean, the season again, we get a really great like what's next on the upcoming of the rest of the season. Justin seems like he's there. We're gonna learn a little bit more. Mike, we hear that from Kate. It sounds like Katie at least messed around. I don't know. Mike might get a fantasy suite. We still don't know who's gonna break her heart.
Yeah.
They imply someone shows back up. Could it be Thomas?
I don't know.
Think so. I don't. Tom. Why would Thomas come back?
Well, I don't think it's Thomas because and this could also be something completely different. But she was like, "I was never expecting you to come," and she's like smiling.
Do you think was she smiling?
Yes.
She almost it's hard to tell. She almost.
I think she
annoyed.
was kind of like happy. She's like, I would never expect this.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
It got me interested. Any final thoughts before we say goodbye to the audience?
Nope, I think we covered it
You
all.
did a great job.
Thank you.
It's not easy to sit in your boyfriend's family's house and recap.
It was so easy.
I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I think you did great. First time podcasting.
Do you want me to be your co-host?
Do I have the? Do I yes?
Okay.
You can be my co-host in life.
Okay. So
And like sometimes you can come on the show.
okay.
Do you really want? I mean,
Now that you know how great I did, I feel like you'll be more inclined to ask me to be on.
I was never not wanting you on. I just I like to keep the mystery of our relationship
I do too.
a little bit.
I do too.
That's just me.
But this was fun.
Yes. So thank you for being on here. Do you have any? I always ask my guests, do you have any projects you're working on? Where can people follow you? Anything you want to plug?
I'm just like working on some surgical technology things.
Great.
Yeah.
That's it. All right. And you can follow her at Natalie Joy.
2 N's, 2 J's.
2 N's, 2 J's. Thanks for listening, guys. Always appreciate you tuning in. Again, great episode tomorrow with Billy Boyd and Dominic Monaghan from Lord of the Rings, and we have a great conversation with them. Be sure to check that out. Couldn't appreciate you guys enough for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, rate us 5 stars. If you would be so generous and so kind, please nominate the Viall Files for Best Podcast under the Society and Culture. And if you want, Best Male Host under Best Male Host category. Can't thank you enough for supporting our show. Love you. We'll see you back tomorrow. Once again, Natalie, thanks for coming on. I love you too.
Thanks, baby.
And bye, guys.
You're crazy.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. But before you go, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss any future videos like our Mondays Ask Nick, especially if you're looking for some relationship stories and relationship advice, as well as our Wednesday interviews with your favorite celebrities and experts. See you next time.